Hello everybody, I'm Mario Kušek from University of Zagreb, Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computing, and I'm part of symbIoTe project. In this video I will show you how to install cloud components for level 1 compatible platform, and I will do that for the testing environment, for the hackathon environment, which is not a permanent one, and I will be using a prepared script to do that, so you will see all the steps in the installation process. So all the instructions are also in our wiki page in GitHub. So here is link of our GitHub wiki repository for the symbIoTe cloud part. If you open this page, you will see the instructions. We will change all of these according to the new versions of the software. Also, you see here that there are 3 ways of installing components. Today I will show you the second one. This is the most easiest one, and the Docker version is under construction and it will be ready in a few weeks as well. Okay, so let me explain you different ways how to install cloud components. So first one is manually from sources. This was the first version of the instructions. And in that case, you need to download sources from the GitHub. You need to compile all the components and configure them and then start them. So this is the process that is not so easy to do. That's why we created the second one. We created a script. It's called symbIoTe cloud.sh script. It is in the symbIoTe cloud repository under resources, helpers, and symbIoTe cloud sh. And the last one, as I have already mentioned, is to use Docker. So this is not ready now, but it will be in next weeks. So the second one, in the middle, I will show you in this presentation. Also, regarding environment, we can have 2 kinds of environments: production environment and hackathon/testing environment. So production environment is environment where you have public IP address and you have valid SSL certificate for accessing cloud components. So this certificate can be obtained by any valid certificate authority. There is free one, Let's Encrypt, and in the written instructions in the wiki you have instructions for getting that as well. The second kind of environment is a temporary one, so it's not for the production use. In that case, you install all your components in your local machine, so in your laptop, for instance. But since probably your laptop is not publicly available, so it doesn't have public IP address, and the router is not also configured with the NAT. So what we use free tool called ngrok, which you can start in your local machine. This tool starts a secure tunnel to the ngrok server on their side, and they also provide you with valid ngrok SSL certificate, so you have HTTPS communication to your components. This is excellent solution for the hackathons, or if you want to test to see how the cloud is working and so on. But as I said, for production environment, I need to emphasize that you don't use this approach. It is better to use public address and your own certificate. So I will show you the latest one. So let's see what the script that we prepared is capable of doing. So you can start and stop components with command start and stop. You can restart them, which means stop components and start them again. You can also install. So everything is installed in current working directory where you start your symbIoTe client, symbIoTe cloud script. So it will download jar files from Jetpack repository, and it will start configuration in current directory. So everything will be set up. You can also uninstall. It means removes everything that has been downloaded. So the steps in the install process are jar downloads. So you have also separate step if you just want to update the components jars. There is also a command for downloading sources. So you can download all the sources as well through the script, and then configure it compile it and configure it with manually. There is also command configure that will configure all the components, but for running configure you need to download configuration zip file from our portal for the administration of symbIoTe platforms. There is also target configure debug, which will just configure all the components to write debug messages in logs. So this is a nice way to do it when you are testing and figuring out what is wrong. And sometimes, since components between them are communicating with the core in secure manner, they need to have key stores that is automatically created either in some components during configuration phase or during the starting components. So sometimes we need to clear out key stores. So there is a command clear key stores, and after that you need to again configure all the components either by using configure and configure debug command. But we will go further away with concrete examples how to do that, so I will show you everything. So what are the steps for deployment? There are 9 steps. First one is to register a platform owner account in the administration web application in the core. Then you need to start ngrok tool. This ngrok tool will give you a URL, will start a tunnel and give you a URL where your tunnel is accessible from the outside world. Then we need to register platform with that URL. After that, you can download from this web page configuration zip, and then we need to first install, then start third-party tools such as RabbitMQ, Mongo, and nginx. Then we will download symbIoTe Cloud script and start installation process, which will download all the components, configure them, and finally we need to configure nginx, start nginx, and then start all the components. So these are 9 steps that we need to do. Let's go. So the first step is to register platform owner account. Here is a screenshot of that page. So if you go to the documentation, one of the first steps there, so if you go here and then download and configure, one of the first steps is here, register using configure platform symbIoTe core. This is the same page, so those are the steps that you need to follow. So the basic page is on this URL, and it is tested in Chrome. In other browsers it is probably working, but we didn't test it, so I will start Chrome here and open this URL. So first time when you open, you get this this page. Okay, then you need to register first time. So you can create here account, username, password, and email, and choose a role. Are you a user or are you a service owner? So if you want to start symbIoTe Cloud and install it, so it means that you are a service owner. So you are creating these symbIoTe Cloud services. So you need to choose that one. I already created account that I am using, so I will skip this this step. After creating account, you can sign in with your created credentials. When you sign in, you get this page. Here on the left side is menu. Under platform details, you can see all the platforms that you have registered so far. So I have here 2 platforms, X platform and example enabler platform, and then you will need to register new platform. So creating user is now finished. So this step is finished. The next one is to start ngrok tool. So if you go to the documentation, here is a link to the web page of the ngrok, and you can there is free service, so you can download for different operating systems. So I am using Mac OS 6, so yeah, I can download the tool locally and install it. I have already done that so far. So in the terminal, you can run ngrok, something like this. So we see here I have version 2.2.8. Okay, so when the tool is ready, then you need to run the following command: ngrok http, which means that we will use HTTP protocol, and we will so our endpoint will be pure HTTP, so we don't need certificate on our local computer. We will bind that to TLS, which means that we will have HTTPS on the other side in the ngrok service, and a local service. So this tunnel will redirect all the traffic to the port 8102. So this is something that I will create now. Okay, so now I have been starting this ngrok, and I have here forwarding address. I have here this address. So this is the address. When I go with browser to this address, it will, you see HTTPS, it will redirect to localhost to 1802 port. Since I am a registered user in the service, then you can see here is a little bit different. So if you are not registered, then you have a limit of 8 hours. After 8 hours, this tunnel will be terminated. It will not work, so you will need to restart ngrok tool, and then you will get the new address. So that could be a pain. So what can you do? You can register for a free account there, and then follow these steps. Install auth token. So to install auth token, you just need to run this command in the command line. I already did that, and when I started ngrok tool, it's here that is binded to account with my name. Plan is free. In that way, when you first time start ngrok tunnel, it will give you the address, and then it will not change after 8 hours. So it is nice feature. Okay, so this is the second step of our deployment process. The next step is to register platform. So we are going to our administration page, and we will click here register new platform. The platform name will be demo platform. The name cannot have spaces, but it can have dashes, numbers, and underscores. And the platform name will be demo platform. You can put here description. Is for tunnel purposes, and here in interworking interface we need to put our URL that we get from ngrok. So I will copy that and put it in here. For the information model, you can create your own information model, but for start you can set that you will use Beam model, which is already provided. This is best practice information model. And type of platform, it could be platform or the enabler. It is type of services, we will use platform. And then after submit, it is created. So we have here demo platform. If we click here on the bar, you will see current data that is there, and you can update different things in here. Okay. So this is this step of the installation. The next one is to get configuration zip file. Okay. So okay, let's go to the administration, and here I will click on get configuration. It opens this wizard, and here I need to put the platform admin username. So those username and password are actually username and password for the components locally to authenticate in one of the components. So I'll put here platform user, and just for testing, platform password. You can define component key store password. So all those passwords are saved in key stores. Default is pass, but you can still leave default versions, and PAM, so key store file name, also key store password, and validity of tokens. So when you get token from the local cloud components, how long is valid that token. So we can leave it like here. And the type in here should we use built-in provided plugin in wrap component or not? Because in wrap we have default dummy sensors, one sensor, one actuator, and one service, and we can use that for testing. So now we will use here yes option to do that, and then we will download it. So it is downloaded, configuration 7 zip. Okay. So we can download that one. Okay, let's go to the next step. The next step is to start RabbitMQ server and Mongo database. So those two need to be installed and started. If you don't have it installed, you can click here in documentation. page. So this is instructions on how to install RabbitMQ and how to install Mongo database. I already have both of them installed here. Okay, so I will just open new terminal, and in the terminal I will start RabbitMQ server. Okay, and in new terminal I will start Mongo database. You can configure your computer to start that from on the startup, but this is for the testing, so it is nice to have it this way. Okay, so now we have configured that. So go to follow next step. Next step is to download the symbIoTe cloud script. So either way, you can copy that or copy this command and download that, or you can go to documentation. So symbIoTe cloud wiki and the documentation. So here I have a link to the script. It's here, or I can go to symbIoTe cloud resources, helpers, and here is script as well. Okay, what I will do, I will create a new terminal. I will create a directory where I will install all the components. So it will be opt symbiote demo. I will go to opt symbiote demo. I will download this script. Go to row, copy that with wget tool. Okay, now script is here. I need to change it to be that can be executed. Okay, now it is executable, and I will copy from my home directory downloads configuration '7 zip here. Okay, and I will rename it to just configuration.zip file. This is important. Okay, so now I have those two files in my directory. Okay, this is step 6. Then I will install run installation symbiote cloud sh install. What will that do? It will fetch all the components from the Gitpack repository, so all the jar files and all that is needed. After downloading all the components, it will start configuration. So it will configure all the components, and then we will be ready for the next step. Just wait to download them. Now configuration is started, and that's it. If we look in directory, we will see that for each component we have one directory. So that will be started from there. And if we look at, for instance, service, let's see that we have a jar file in there. In some services, we have also some property files in there, which is needed for the configuration. Okay. The next step is to configure nginx. So here is link to documentation, and we can see that here are instructions on how to install nginx. So we need to first do that. I have already done that in my computer. And then nginx can have configuration in different directories. So it depends on your distribution, either it is Linux or Mac or where you install. My configuration is here in user local etc nginx. So I will show you how to do configuration in there. Default configuration of the config file is in etc nginx, so it's a little bit different. So we have some additional steps. Okay, first, let's see here. Here we have already nginx configuration and a configuration file. So we can edit it. First thing here is user nginx. So if we are going to start that with the root or with our own user, we can change either that, or we can just comment this out. The next thing is to find listen 443 SSL, because the default configuration is listening on SSL. So it's here. So I will comment that out because we are using ngrok, and we need to listen to 8102. So I will uncomment that one. Then we don't need SSL certificates. Okay, so SSL certificates need to be commented out because we are using just HTTP. And the other thing that is important, if this is not in correct place, is here. It is included. It is including MIME types, and it tried to look for them in etc nginx. So here I will put my location user local etc nginx MIME types. This is the only thing that needs to be changed because the etc nginx is empty, so we will complain about that. I will save that. Then I will copy nginx conf file to my place user local etc nginx. We can look at this directory as well. What we have there, so we have different files in there, so we just put this one. Okay, and now we are ready to try to start. I will start nginx as a root. Okay, it warns us about the limitation of the connections. That's fine, and I will open browser to localhost 8102. So we get this welcome page from the Nginx, which means that our Nginx is currently working. Okay. You have some more tips in there. Next step is to run our components, and we can do it manually, one by one, or we can use our script to start them. When starting the components by using script, it is using GNU screen tool for running them in, and you can log off and it will be running in background. So I will just start. So it is starting. So after that, it means that the script has been running starting components, but it doesn't mean that they are all running now because they need some time. So with screen -x, we can go into screen, and with Control A and quotes, double quotes, we can see what screens are running. So we can go to the cloud config service and see if this is running. So we see here Tom gets started on port, so it means it's already running. Control A, double quotes, Eureka service is also running, so it is initialized. Zipkin running. So if there is some error in there, it means that something went wrong. So we should not get any errors in there. Authentication authorization manager is still going up. If we go to this one, it is waiting for the authentication manager. So we'll return back to this one. Okay, now it is up and running because it says here started authentication. Okay, now registration handler I started running as well. So we'll wait for registration handler. You can see here in which screen are you. Okay, Tonka started on port. Okay, and let's see resource access proxy. It's also currently starting. Okay, now resource access proxy is starting with Control A and we detach from the screen. And we can go to the next step. The next step is to check components. We see the Nginx locally was running, but we can do it through ngrok. So if we go here in our terminal with ngrok address, go to our Chrome. Okay, if it is running, we will get the same page, so that's fine. Then let's see if to check other cloud config service. It is cloud config service. It is in local localhost 8080. So if we go there, we'll see JSON. If we get JSON, it means that cloud config service is running. Okay. It is not exposed through ngrok. Then Eureka service, which is also just local. If you get this dashboard, it means it is running. We see here that authentication authorization manager and registration and Zipkin service. That's fine. Then let's go to Zipkin service. Okay, we get dashboard from the Zipkin service. That means it is working okay. That we will get a local connection to the authorization authentication manager, AAM. So we get JSON, that's fine. The same JSON we need to be get by the ngrok. So /pam/get available AAMs. So I need to copy that. /pam/get. Oops. Okay, we get that one, which means that ngrok is redirecting to right component, so that's fine. Then for the registration handler, we can look locally. Okay, empty JSON, that's fine. Means registration handler is working, and with the /arrange/resources, resources, we can access it through ngrok. Age resources. No, I'm spelling it wrong. Resources. Okay, empty JSON is fine. And then wrap. This is example of wrap request. Okay, we get JSON with status code 404, which means that the wrap is available, but it is not, it has a resource ID, it has not been found because we didn't register anything. And through same port, I will just copy that. We can go to ngrok/wrap/sensors. So let's go here. Okay. We need to get the same response, but not directly to the local host, but through the ngrok and HTTPS communication. Okay, this means that all the services are up and running. We don't have any errors, so that is good. So we tested that everything is working. So afterwards, we need to register some resources, and sometimes we need to restart ngrok. In that case, there are following steps that we need to follow. So we need to stop all the components. We need to change URL administration web page in the URL in the administration web page. We need to download again configuration zip file, put it in our deployment directory, run configuration command, configure command in the script, and start all the components. After that, if we have registered resources, we need to call this endpoint in the resource manager twice to clean the database, and then we need to register resources again. Since we didn't register anything, we can omit those two steps, but let me show you how. So I will stop the ngrok and then start again. So I will get a new URL. So what I need to do is go to the administration. Okay, let's see if still okay, it is available. Okay, we need to update page with new URL. Submit it. Yeah, to log in again. Okay, new URL. submit it. Okay. Then I need to go here, get configuration. So I need to write the username and password for the configuration, which puts here platform user and platform password. Choose here yes. Get the configuration. Now it's configuration 8. Okay, let's go here. Then we need to stop the components. We change it, we don't run configure script. Okay, so we need to do following: copy tilde downloads configuration, which is 9 to configuration zip. See it here, yeah, it's 950, so it's new one. Then we need to clear key stores. Okay, and then we need to configure. Okay, so it will be configure it. Start all components. Start. Let's look how components are starting. Okay, started. And now we can check if we can get but to new address. Does this one changed? Okay, now we have restarted everything, and then if we have been registering some components, we will go to this, but you need to post to it twice. Okay, the next thing that we need to do, so now we have running cloud component, and the next thing is to create wrap plugin. So there are 3 ways to create wrap plugin. The first one is done so far. We are recommended the second approach, using wrap plugin starter if you are writing wrap plugin in Java. So here is your instructions. So all instructions are in the repository here, and you have example of the wrap plugin. With this wrap plugin will register dummy resources, so we can test them. Okay, and the other approach is to implement the protocol between wrap and the wrap plugin. And here is, because the communication between wrap plugin and wrap is going through RabbitMQ, and here are examples of the messages that are exchanged. So if you want to implement that in some other programming language like Python or C#, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay, but this is something for the next video. So we will be covering that in next video as an example. Okay, and thank you for watching, and I hope that you have learned something, that you can follow the steps. If you have any problems, please contact us either through Twitter or through an email. You can also find me on the Twitter or on the internet. So my email is mario.kushek@fer.hr. So you are welcome also to contact me as well. Thank you very much.